Happy 4th of July! Hi! I wanted to wish you a happy 4th of July for those of you celebrating such a day, and also give an update, clarification, rethinking, reevaluation of some of the thoughts on patriotism and America that I shared yesterday during Hug Nation, during the live broadcast. Well, this is a live broadcast too. It's actually more live because it's now, and that live broadcast was then, so that's no longer a live broadcast. It's now an archived or recorded broadcast, and therefore subject to all sorts of potential editing and fake news. But this is real. This is now. This is the truth. I don't want to get into that, but I did want to get into just a I was talking yesterday about patriotism and about what 4th of July means to me, and how it is a time when I often will check back in with how I feel about America and about our country and about patriotism. Good morning, everyone who is joining in live. I'm feeling very Zoolander-ish right now. Do you mind if I just throw you a real quick red, white, and blue steel? Okay. So one of the things that I whenever I get a little frustrated with the corruption of our political system, I'm lucky that I am able to talk to my dad, who is a judge and a dedicated servant of the system, not in a blind follower of the man, but in a dedicated believer in the power of our legal system, of our Constitution, in our checks and balances for the law to be a self-correcting system. And in comparison with systems in place around the world, the Constitution and the American set of laws is pretty beautiful. Can you argue that capitalism and aspects of our monetary pressures and have corrupted that system? Absolutely. Could you argue that we still have the systems in place to fix things? I certainly would make that argument, especially after I sit with it for a little bit. But you could also make the argument that you got to burn it all down. I don't want to make that argument today. What I want to make the argument of is that, what I want to make the clarification of is that yesterday I said that I sometimes will try to snap back into the Founding Fathers' perspective and thought about freedom. What I was really thinking about was, so often patriotism is hijacked to be associated with blind following of leadership and not questioning, and the idea of supporting the troops is the same thing as endorsing the war, or that questioning leadership is the same thing as doubting the country or second-guessing America. And the Founding Fathers' perspective about the Declaration of Independence and the way the Constitution is written is in such a way that we should always be questioning and pushing and doubting those in power. Everything about our system is designed with the understanding that people suck, and people, when they get power, will take advantage of those who do not have power. And so we have these checks and balances. We have things in place so that we cannot have, or we try to fight against corruption. Okay, now all that being said, that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday, but the other part that needs to be, I think, that I did not include, which was reminded me today as I looked online, and as optimistic as I want to try to be, it's good to remember that when the Declaration of Independence was written, the freedom that we're celebrating, at that time, non-white human beings were not considered citizens. Non-whites were not considered free. And so to celebrate freedom, or the 4th of July, as the date in which we were celebrating our independence, it makes total sense that someone who is of African American descent, or anyone who associates with the melting pot identity of America, would pray, hey, maybe we should also take this day as an opportunity to remember our history. Not just the history of our pursuit of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, but also in our history in that we have not always granted those rights and those freedoms to all people. And so the 4th of July is not a special day to someone who did not have freedom at that time. Women as well reminds me of Vesper, or Vesper reminds me. So, do I think it's important to recalibrate our patriotism? Yes. Do I think it's important to be proud of being American? Yes. Do I think part of that pride is in recognizing that the America that we should be proud of is a moving process of evolving. The America of today is more tolerant than the America. Ooh, can I even say that? It's not. Let's listen to this. It's not a perfectly linear path upwards, but I can look at things in our culture now with gay and lesbian rights, and with the recognition of transgender even as a thing that was not a part of my youth. And so I can look at that, and I can look at, I just watched Hidden Figures. Oh my gosh, what an incredible film about the kind of non-publicized, important African-American women of the NASA space program. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. I watched it on a plane, which gave me even more confidence in the miracle of flight, knowing that such brilliant women and people of color were. That's actually, there's no connection between my trust in the airplane and the movie. I was just trying to be funny, and it didn't work very well. But the point is, it's a great movie, and it is also part of the context of the film is showing what it was like for someone in that time. And it's just like, it's so mind-blowing to think that people that I know, human beings alive today, lived in a time with segregated drinking fountains, with segregated bathrooms, with people who believed themselves to be good and righteous people having no issue with segregation. In the same way that when I was a kid, I had no issue with using derogatory terms about homosexuals, in the same way that a few years ago, I had no way of understanding or communicating about someone who was not a binary gender. And so being an American, I think, is being one who self-corrects. That's why we have the Bill of Rights was not part of the original Constitution, because we grow, we fix, we have checks and balances, we have a judicial system, we have appeals, we have all these things, because we have senators that create laws, we have the ability for citizens to get enough signatures to propose laws. We are a process of learning and evolving, with an understandable amount of corruption that occurs because of financial crap. But that's not reason to give up. That's not reason to throw our hands up. Well, I'm sorry. It's not reason to throw our hands up in despair. It is reason to throw our hands up and wave them in the air like you just don't care. Oh, America. Say, oh, America. So, yes, I am proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a world citizen. I'm proud to be a human being. I'm proud to be a example of consciousness in this plane of existence. And as such, I'm able to make choices and grow and be a better presence in the universe than I was yesterday and the day before and the day before. And that, to me, is what it is to be an American. Anybody else have thoughts on 4th of July and patriotism? If you missed it earlier, but you're saying, why, what about that bandana and that hair is so familiar? Oh, it's because you must remember me from my famous look, red, white, and blue steel. Steph, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Moni's saying, I wish the 41st president spoke using as many syllables and complete sentences as you do. Well, to be fair, I also have a much worse golf game than our president. it really depends on where you put your energy and how much you practice. Vesper, I am a proud Earthling, and I'm also sometimes, I'm using this opportunity to stay optimistic. There are times when I'm also an ashamed Earthling. But I don't know what good it does to stay in that state of shame. Brandon reminded me we don't have to, there's no more copyright payments on birthday songs, so we can sing the birthday song. Although, if you know me, you know that, one, I don't remember lyrics to any songs, and two, I prefer to make things up as I go along. So let's say it's Steph's birthday. Bumbly, 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 birthday for Steph. Dugga, birthday for Steph. Everybody say, birthday for Steph. And then we celebrate, birthday for Steph. It's the 5th, not the 4th. And we celebrate it all, 'cause there's freedom in our hearts. And we got the birthday song right here. It is the birthday song right here. Why is he singing so high when his voice isn't even good at his normal tone? These aren't lyrics, just an apology that's hurting everyone's ears. Okay, I'll stop. Welcome, everyone who is tuning in for the live 4th of July broadcast. I was trying to clarify, if you missed the beginning, about why I am so proud to be an American, as well as a world citizen, as well as a human being, and at the same time also having shame for all of those things. And the process and the pride of being an American is due to the process, or the belief that I have, or that I've been raised to recognize, that an American identity is one that evolves. It's built into our Constitution. It's built into the Declaration of Independence. Our very identity as Americans are ones that do not accept what has been as the way it should always be. All of those that I admire, all of my heroes, I think of my grandfather, who did not accept the way that the church was, instead thought, well, that's the way it should be. Gandhi, that's not the way it should be. The Founding Fathers, that's not the way it should be. Martin Luther King Jr., that's not the way it should be. Even though you can look back and say, yeah, they didn't get the whole picture, that's exactly right. You continually see the cracks and try to fill them. The whole process, the concept of do-ocracy, the whole beauty of Burning Man is that you see the system and go, this is awesome, it could be a little better. It could be a little better. This is great, I could make it a little better. We could tweak it, we could make it better. That's what being an American is. That's what the pursuit of happiness is to me. It's being proud of what has happened. It is being proud of what has been done, where we are, and also looking for what can be better. So, oh my gosh, did we really celebrate independence and freedom while we had entire races of people who are not considered people? We did. And at the time, it was a revolutionary step towards freedom. Now we know that's insane. Now we know better, so we do better. God bless America. And when I say God, I mean our internal oneness. So, hey, welcome Brendan and Krista and Drac and Joni and Shannon. It is a glorious 4th of July. I am celebrating freedom in general, as, whoa. Yeah, so I just wanted to celebrate this day and clarify some of the things I said yesterday. If you have not been following along, that's the other reason I came online, because yesterday when I went, I forgot that, when I was talking about what my sister has made, or my sister-in-law has she's now making available these their shoelaces, making America great again, or making the American flag great again. That's not her logo. That's just something I thought about, so don't blame her for that. They're these American flag shoelaces that say "March On" and have words on them about freedom and liberty, and it's kind of just like I am trying to reclaim the American flag as a symbol of all these things that I was talking about dissent, about unity. And so I encourage you to check out marchonlaces.com, or I think it's it's facebook.com/marchonlaces. Yeah, March On Laces. March On Laces, get it? marchonlaces.com, and check out these really cool American flag shoelaces that can be a little symbol to everyone you see that, yes, you are a patriot in the same way that this crazy dude's a patriot. Not in the blind acceptance of following leaders and accepting decisions of institutions that are bigger than us and maybe not be concerned with the passions and heart of all citizens, but patriotism from a place of pursuit of happiness in an evolutionary path of growth. So, yes, America, USA, USA. And by USA, I mean, let's see, universal souls aligned. I love you! Happy 4th of July. Happy 5th of July, 6th of July, and all of July. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Mwah.